Welcome to the vlog. Got some new stuff today. This is all for Adventure Archives and to make Adventure Archives easier. How best to run everything down? Well, we gotta switch cameras real quick. First off, I got a new wide lens for my GH5. Look at the size of this mofo right here. Okay, we're gonna have to change cameras again. Let's change cameras again. This right here is a wide angle lens for my Panasonic camera. And this right here is a wide angle lens for my Sony camera. So when we shoot Adventure Archives, we need a nice wide angle lens. And we need one for the Panasonic specifically because this camera now almost exclusively goes on the gimbal, which I'll talk about in a second. So rather than having to use the wide angle with the Sony camera and having to take it on and off the gimbal, we've got a wide for the Panasonic and we can just bloop, and then it's on right there. Man, and also this is extremely wide. It's a little bit wider than this lens even is. So we got, just lots of space to work with. We'll talk about the gimbal in a second, but one more lens we got is this guy. This is a 45 to 150 telephoto lens. You might remember that I got this guy, an Olympus 40 to 150. Had I known that this one existed and cost about the same price, which this was probably an impulse buy, I probably shouldn't have bought this. This has a dual image stabilization feature, which basically means that we can do stuff like this, where I can zoom way in, and I'm actually holding this with one hand. Not even on a tripod, and it's nice and smooth like this. Spy on my neighbors a bit, if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want to, but. And what actually pushed me over the edge in getting this was that I was editing this episode that we're working on right now. We've got some shots of some alligators, and we're like zooming way in, and it's so shaky. And I was like, there's gotta be a better way, and there is a better way, and we made some other mistakes that I don't need to detail here, but suffice it to say that we were incompetent. But this will help our competency a little bit. Okay, and so as far as the gimbal is concerned, I finally took the time to properly learn how to balance it. There's 3 steps that you have to do. You have to do this side first, then that side, then you gotta do this thing. We were always getting footage where the camera would go like up and down like this. And I knew that the problem was I just never properly balanced it. I don't know, it was weird. I've had this thing for a long time, but for some reason, I knew what the problem was and just never fixed it. But now we're getting perfectly smooth shots like this.
This is a goofy exercise to test your, what's it called?
It's called a gimbal.
Gimbal. I knew it.
Detective John Gimbal. Okay, thank you. And it doesn't require walking particularly smooth or anything. It's just point and shoot. So the current lens collection, we've got the dual image stabilized 45 to 150. We got the 12 to 35, the staple. We got the 25 millimeter. This probably wasn't the greatest purchase either. We got the wide for the Sony, 16 to 35. We got the 55 millimeter for the Sony. And actually in the mail, we still have one more lens arriving, and that is also gonna be for the Sony. We'll talk about that. Well, for you it'll be right now, but for me it'll be once the lens gets here, which should be soon. So my mother went on a beer bus tour with her Zumba ladies, and she brought back this craft beer that is coffee and beer. I thought you couldn't make coffee taste any better, but it turns out all you need to do is add beer. This is like when you go to a party and somebody hands somebody some alcoholic drink and they're like, ooh, that's good. And it just tastes like rubbing alcohol. What's it called? Not rubbing alcohol. It tastes like nail polish remover. That's what I'm trying to say. This is one of those times where you drink an alcoholic drink and you're like, ooh, that's good. And you actually mean it.
Yeah, it's called Jamaica Joe.
Jamaica Joe, I gotta be careful. This is 2 poisons right together. Woo! You also might notice that we've got lights here finally. Countertop is kind of done.
It's done for now.
But anyways, I'm gonna go for that run while we wait for that lens. So I had that camera recording in the house with the telephoto. I should have ran in and got a shot of those bombers, but I'm an idiot. Okay, so cut to however many hours it's been. The lens has arrived. It is the Sony 28mm f2, which you can see right here. So to know why I wanted to get this lens, we gotta go to the other room where it's dark. So if you've been watching this vlog for any amount of time, you know that this Sony camera, I complain about it a lot for good reason. But the reason I keep it around is because it's really good for really dark situations like this. Let's turn off the lights. So this is as high as the ISO goes on this camera. Right now I'm shooting at f4, 125th, 12,800 ISO. You cannot even see me. Well, you might be able to see me a little bit. In fact, let's give it a fighting chance. Let's put that on there. So this camera plus the 55mm f1.8 that I have, you can see practically in the dark. So this is f1.8 ISO 25,600. You can see me, it's great. This is not exactly a fair comparison, but just trust me that the other camera, you can't do this. The only problem is this lens is a little bit too zoomed in, and we always need a good nighttime lens. This other lens has roughly twice the field of view. So we get this good nighttime ability, but at the same time, we actually have like a usable field of view in front of us while we're doing our stuff. But I don't even know if what I'm filming is in frame because, as I've complained about with this camera, I can't see what I'm doing because the screen doesn't flip around. It's very annoying. Anyways, also it gives a really nice shallow depth of field, but still like that nice workable, you know, field of view. So I could actually use it to vlog and stuff too. But now I'm very happy with my current lens setup. All the holes have been covered. All the problems are fixed. If now, even money cannot really solve any of the problems. It's all the problems are just somebody's gonna have to make a new camera. Anyways, that was a look at my new lenses. You will see the fruits of our labor in the first episode after the road trip series is done. Oh, you'll see the fruits of the labor in the vlog as well. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's vlog. This was a short, just like lens digression. I did a random stream yesterday, and I said that I would be back today. Your daily vlog will be back, hopefully more regularly, starting today. So anyways, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. And my Fager, is it Fager or Faja?
I don't know that word.
I thought it was from some old TV show or something. My Faja, or that's Goldmember maybe, from Austin Powers. My Faja bought me some new shoes, which is fitting because he bought me my last pair of shoes. And my last pair of shoes before that. My dad just buys me shoes for some reason. Thank you, Dad.
Well, he knows how to pick out good shoes and he knows what size you wear.
That's true, yeah. He does pick out nice shoes.
He's good at shoes. He's always been good at shoes.